As you know, you see the logo, baby. Today's show is sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook. We talking about the top rated, the number one sportsbooking app in all of North America, baby. Safe, secure, and of course, reliable. And with NFL season all the way in the swing of it, man, we got 1, 2, 3. We time for week 4, baby. And I don't know if y'all been following your favorite team, but some of these teams hitting really well. Others, you got to focus on the parlays, okay? And those are all the beautiful things that you get offered with DraftKings Sportsbook, baby. Same game parlays, you got player prop bets, and a lot of other things included. But just like with anything, if I'm going to talk about it, you know I got a promo code for you, baby. So you see it right there. The promo code is Moats. When you make your first bet, my new customer, for $5, you will get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Like I said, just use the promo code Moats. It's simple, man. It is super simple. But at the same time, you might get lost in the sauce, and I understand that can happen. And if you're living in New York, you see the number that you can text. But for everybody else, the digits to dial are 1-800-GAMBLER. I do want to ask though, man. I do want to ask you guys. X-Con says you are funny with that 4 yards per carry, man. Hey, look. X-Con says woke up. He said, "Y'all got time for y'all." All right, everybody that was so just taking our renegade for granted, taking the 4 yards per carry for granted. Oh, he got smoke for y'all today. All right. I like your X concepts. You know, I like your energy, baby. I like your energy. Oh, man. But yeah, baby. This is funny. This is funny. But I did want to ask them, man, because I do see a lot of y'all bringing up Highsmith, man, and not just here, man. I've seen that, you know, shoot, after Herbig had his performance, man, he's like, "Yo, should we trade her? Should we trade Highsmith, man? Should we trade Highsmith?" I'm like, "Yo, is that the vibe? We ready to move on from him because of what Herbig has done, or do we still like the fact of having both of those dudes here this season, man, and knowing that hey, if somebody isn't available, we can see right there how next man up, stepping up. But then we also feel like we also know that when everybody's healthy now, where's the drop off, right?" Everybody can get active. Everybody can go. So, y'all let me know, man. What's your energy on my man, Alex Highsmith? Is he the new trade bait? Is he the new trade candidate? Or are we liking our plethora of pass rushing talent? Okay. Because I have heard people say you can never have enough pass rushers. I have heard that. But I just don't know if that's like a pass rushing thing that we like to say. Even I'm like, "Coach, we don't need this many pass rushers. I want to get all the reps." Okay. I got some commentary coming in. Let's see. So my man M. Penna says you got to trade Highsmith for a wide receiver too. Okay. Lifted One says the rotation at edge is good for us. So he wants to keep everything as is. Chris Hobson says, "Heck no. Highsmith is better against the run." Okay, I see perspective in this thing. Tyrone, I think you better call on Tyrone. I ain't gonna lie, bro. That was my jam. Shout out to Erica Badu, Miss Bag Lady, okay? But he says we should keep him. All right. Keep. Bust down, say, "You got to pay Herbig, though, man. We know we can't pay Herbig and Highsmith. So if you was going to pay one got to get up on." So I see what direction you pointing in. All right. Mike Hood says you got to keep Alex Highsmith. He keeping Highsmith. Okay. Now, Tom J said, "Look, bro, we could trade Highsmith for a second." All right. Low key, you might be right on that, too, in terms of the second. Because I was torn in terms of what that market would actually look like. But he still has, I want to say, a year still under contract, not including this season. And he's still on the right side of 30, when you talk about age-wise. So there are certain things that, I do think he still would have a better return if you were trying to trade him. And I do think he has the better trade market between him and Herbig. Herbig is more exciting within Pittsburgh circles because we've seen him, but he hasn't broken out in terms of, league-wide just yet. Whereas Highsmith, when he did the 14.5 sacks, that put him on everybody's radar. When you double digit that thing at this level, it's like, bro, you're different. All right. We all rush the passer, but you got double digits. Yeah, you're one of them. So shout out to Highsmith, but that's one of the parts where you're like, yeah, and I think Herbig is for sure capable of that as well, but he just still has to actually go out there and do it. Once he puts together the full body of work, that changes everything in terms of his outside trade value, not in terms of the Steelers wanting to pay him. Those are two different conversations, right, for Herbig, but I like that right there. Okay. Let's see. Michael G, I'm with you. Alex put up 14 and a half dolo. No help. Yeah, bro. That's a dog. Bro, I'm like, yo, I don't care which of them. I'm like, yo, 14 and a half of them things. It's 14 and a half of them things, bro. Just look at the list. How many players have had 14 and a half sacks a day? You know what I'm saying? In a single season, bro. Stupid, bro. Stupid. Oh, man. And David Decker says, man, you just gotta keep both, man. Okay. I can dig it. I can dig it. Oh, and I'll end it with this one right here, man. X-Concert says, man, Alex Highsmith put up 14 and a half sacks without TJ Watt. That was the year TJ was out. Highsmith is very underrated. And I think, I honestly agree, man. I don't think there's a wrong stance to have with this. From my eyes, the reason why I'm anti-trading Highsmith is for a couple of reasons. Number one, because he's a jolly good fella. All right, shout out to the fact that I like Highsmith on and off the field. He's a good dude. I got good people as well, man. Pops, moms, like good dude, man. So I like him a lot, man, in that capacity. I think he's good for the locker room. I think he's good for leadership. I think he's good for, being the next in terms of how we view our defense and say, man, these are the guys that we can bank on for the next couple of years. I look at him as one of those players because I do think he's complete. And what I mean is, we talk about the 14 and a half sacks. We know he can rush the passer, but I love watching Alex Highsmith versus the run. Watch him play against the run. When Highsmith is healthy, watch him versus the run. Watch how he routinely whoops up on tight ends. Watch that. Watch how he sets hard edges. That is beautiful. Now, the knock is he's been banged up, right? He, unfortunately, these past couple of seasons has been getting the soft tissue bug where you're like, bro, come on, man. I know you in shape. I know you train well. I look at your physique. I know you are ready to go. But he's had the growing, the hammy, the weird soft tissue stuff. And unfortunately, that has opened up the door for us to see Herbig. And at times see him in extended action as well. And that's the part that, yeah, it makes you look at Herbig and you get excited, and rightfully so, because Herbig, man, has for sure, made plays. He's for sure flashed, and he has given us the confidence that we can believe that this is what he is going to do on a routine basis because he has. And I think that that's important. But the flip side is with Herbig, younger player, not as good versus the run, still good versus the run, but just not on the same level of Highsmith versus the run. But you can make a case in terms of just skill for skill rushing the passer. Now, I know the numbers haven't reflected that just yet. And part of that is, yeah, we got to see with Herbig getting extended roles while Highsmith is away. He runs his numbers up from a sack perspective. Can he get the double digits? What does that look like? But just in terms of when I watch how Herbig wins inside, outside, from the speed standpoint, I think he has the advantage there. But you watch Highsmith rush, man, his spin move, that powerful inside spin move, a la Dwight Freeney style, man, that's a platinum move. The same way James Harrison Debo had the rip, man, Highsmith got that spin move, baby. All right, it's platinum. Is dope. He done bust a ton of heads with that move there. But you can also see where he could beat you around the edge, man. And he has just a physical presence with him. So that's why I'm like, yo, I want to keep them both. I think you keep them both as long as you can. You won't be able to do this in a year from now because you're going to have to pay Herbig, and Herbig for sure is going to command money on the open market due to what you're seeing. Pass rushers are always at a premium. Always. And the younger they are, the better, because you can keep them for longer, control them longer. But I do feel like, man, if we moved off of Highsmith this year, I still feel like it would be a little bit too soon. Now, some people from a business standpoint say that's when you're supposed to do it, right? You rather move off of them too soon before it's too late. And too late in this capacity isn't him falling off a cliff and becoming a bad player. Too late in this capacity is, yeah, man, now we have lost Herbig to free agency. That's, what we don't want to have happen. Now, with me, I'm always like, yeah, if you want to keep them both, you approach Herbig soon. You approach Herbig before the world knows. And you give him that deal, you put it on the table, and traditionally, that starving dog be like, yo, I'm gonna take that. And now you got him locked in for a little bit. You deal with the holdout in 2 years from now. That's typically how you do it. All right. But we'll see. We will see, man. But to me, I personally would not move off of Highsmith just yet. I do feel like, man, what he is bringing right now, that physicality when he is out there, and that's the other part, he has to get out there. We know he has to get back out there. But what he brings to me, that physicality versus the run, along with the proven double-digit sack season, it's hard for me to just move on from that for the promising young prospect. And I don't even say young prospect in terms of just young player Nick Herbig, who we haven't seen put together that full Highsmith caliber season just yet. I think once I get that, then yeah, I think that's super easy. And that could be happening right now. If we look up by week 6 and we like, yo, Herbig, then he running these numbers up a little bit, different conversation. But right now, let me just see where he's at. For this season. And shout out to the internet. And if y'all digging what we on today, man, y'all hit that like button one time for the culture and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Alrighty. Because as it stands right now, both dudes sitting at 1 sack. Even I personally felt like Herbig, I felt like he done had way more. He just don't be getting no credit, man. But both got 1 sack. Herbig has 5 documented QB hits. Highsmith 3. Let's see if they're going to show me the pressures. Okay, and they have Herbig. Was this for 4 pressures? I think this is. Highsmith for 3. That doesn't seem right, though. Those numbers are off right there. I don't agree with that. But I'm like, both of these dudes are kind of equal right now in terms of their production thus far, man. So I'm like, yo, ride with them both, man. I'm like, ride with them both. Until somebody separates, in the sense of if Herbig separates, then yeah, man. All right. I think that answers itself in terms of moving on from Highsmith. But if we don't see a clear separation, and Highsmith is, once he returns, he's back healthy, and it's like, yo, he's still doing Highsmith things. I'm like, yo, you roll with that, because you're literally 1 injury away, or if anything happens weird with 90, I don't want to see what that looks like when it's like, okay, Herbig, when we didn't have TJ, Highsmith gave me 14 and a half. Herbig right now, can you put together that type of season? I think he's capable, but at the same time, I know that is a tough ask. A very tough ask for a young player, man, who's what, 3rd year in the league right now. So that's why I'm also just like, man, we're thinking of the long-term element, and we want to have the pass rush. You want to be able to get after quarterbacks. To me, I would much rather have too many of those dudes than not enough of them. So that's why I'm kind of, like I said, leaning towards, man, no go on the Highsmith trade bait. Can't do it, won't do it, can't do it. Don't want none of that, man. And like I said, he's a good guy. I like him a lot. So I'm torn. Okay. I'm torn because I like Herbig too. But I've just known Highsmith longer. All right. So I'm just like, yo, I can't move on from Highsmith. Like, at least not this year. We can figure out the offseason and offseason. Because I think it's a different conversation if at the end of the season, right, we keep both of these dudes and we're like, yo, Highsmith, man, he kept getting, nicked with the soft tissue stuff. He only ended up with about 5 sacks. Herbig came over here, had about 7.5, maybe even 10 of them things. But more importantly, the impact, the flash, the way that he just took over the pass rush, like we watched him in this Patriots game, then yeah, it answers itself. It answers itself, right? And from there, yeah, you go ahead and you ship Highsmith off in the offseason. You move on from there. You give Herbig the contract, and now you're happy. But I do feel like if you do it right now, it still feels a little bit more premature So here we are. But shout out, man. Like I said, man, if y'all digging what I'm on today and what we are on today, hit the like button one time for the culture and subscribe if you are new to the channel, baby.